Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
I'm Shannon Ogden with the latest from Denver 7. All green lights all the time. And in Lakewood, it's not really as crazy as it sounds. We don't mean there won't be any red lights anymore. You'll just have the tools never to really hit one. Denver 7's Megan Lopez goes 360 on how it works, how it costs, and the concerns that drivers will abuse this technology.
Every day, no matter what city you drive through, hundreds of stoplights work in unison to control traffic. A delicate dance to create harmony in congestion. But what if you could predict when a light will turn green or how long it will stay red? Would you want to know? Automakers like Audi say this is the future of transportation technology. Other groups are working on a more affordable option, and environmentalists say it could cut down on carbon emissions.
Introducing traffic light information.
For Audi senior strategist of connected data, Balaji Yalchuru,
we see this as foundational for all of the future smart mobility.
He believes green light tech makes for a better, safer driving experience. Audi's time to green feature has been around for about 3 years.
It gathers real-time signal information data, and then that gets processed to predict when a signal turns green.
But just last month, it rolled out the Green Light Optimization Speed Advisory System, which tells drivers how fast they need to go to make a green light.
The speed limit recommendation would never be over the speed limit.
Lakewood is one of the cities Audi picked for that project.
We have about 100 signals connected in Lakewood.
The city already had signal control systems in place for its red lights, and Audi uses that data in its cars. But the technology doesn't come cheap. After the initial trial period, it will cost you $200 every 6 months as part of the automaker's concierge service.
You shouldn't have to drive a fancy German car to get the benefit.
Matthew Ginsburg from Connected Signals believes this tech shouldn't only be for those who can afford it.
The data itself should be public as far as we're concerned. It comes from public agencies. It should be public data.
That's why his company came up with a free app that does something similar to Audi.
We'll put a green arc on us. We have a speedometer, and we'll put a green arc on the speedometer. And if you keep the needle in the green arc, the next light you encounter will be green when you get there.
Ginsburg says not only does this type of tech cut down on drivers quickly accelerating or braking at intersections, it also reduces speeding.
We saw a reduction in the frequency with which people entered intersections 5 or 10 or whatever miles an hour over the speed limit.
His company is already operating in cities like Phoenix, and they're working on rolling the app out nationwide by the end of the year. There's also a green factor beyond green lights. A 2016 study shows this type of tech could also cut down on carbon emissions.
What we see is a bunch of cars idling, having to stop and go, right? That's your least efficient version of an engine, and so that's also your most high emissions.
So if drivers are making more green lights and idling less frequently, there's fewer emissions. For environmentalists, this isn't an end-all solution, but
any even marginal decrease in those emissions are so critical.
However, anytime a new technology rolls out, there's concerns it could be abused. Both Audi and Connected Signals have taken steps to try to prevent this from being used for drag racing or speeding to make a green light. But it will be up to drivers to not take advantage of the tech. The future of driving is here, and cities like Aurora and Thornton are already working toward integrating this into their systems. The question now is whether this type of knowledge truly is power, or in this case, horsepower.
Imagine no more waiting at a red light while green cross lanes are empty.
Megan Lopez.
And this is just the beginning.
Denver 7.
Now, I can't really imagine anybody would miss sitting at red lights, but obviously there's some concerns with something like this. So what do you think? How do you think it could work? What worries do you maybe have about this? Whatever it is, email us, please, 360@thedenverchannel.com. And while car companies work out the tech, Colorado lawmakers are focused on making our roads safer now. A bill introduced today would suspend the driver's license of anyone convicted of careless driving causing injury. That suspension would last 1 year and come with a requirement to attend a driving course and perform community service.
What are you going to shoot me? There's cameras everywhere, dude. Are you going to shoot me? My plan is not to shoot. You said this is a weapon.
Well, that video and the outrage it inspired has Boulder leaders inviting the public to talk about race relations tonight. Earlier this month, what you're seeing here, a police officer stopped a man who was sitting outside, asked him if he was allowed to be there. Well, he told the officers he lived there, he worked inside, showed him his school ID. Well, apparently that wasn't enough for the officer, who at one point reaches for his gun and calls for backup. The mayor and police chief have apologized and promised an investigation. Tonight's community meeting just got underway about 6 o'clock. We have a crew there. We'll have the story for you tonight on Denver 7 at 10. Let's see, the end of era for Frisco. The town says the threat of wildfires is just too great, so it will no longer set off fireworks for the 4th of July. Now, Breckenridge canceled theirs as well, so there will be no official fireworks celebration in Summit County this year. Now, Frisco instead will have more resources for its parade and its annual free concert. Road crews are doing their best to keep up, but the potholes are just going to be a fact of life, I'm afraid, for the next few weeks. And don't blame the blizzard either. It's caused instead by the fluctuating temperatures. You get freezing to warm and sunny, back to cold again. So if you see a pothole, call or email the city, let them know about it. And if you don't hear back from them, well, contact 7. We'll take a look into it for you. And from the First Alert Weather Center, I am pleased to present this 7-day forecast. I mean, come on, especially after that blizzard last week. It's basically perfect. Sure, it's not all sunny, but let's call this a perfect 7-day. This has been your Denver 7 on-demand update. Thank you for checking us out. We'll have another one later for you tonight. And download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. I'm Shannon Ogden.